In this video, we are going to discuss your friendships, and particularly your intimate friendships. Now, when we talk about intimacy, a lot of times people think of romantic, kissing and so on. Intimacy actually means that you can share your thoughts and share your feelings with someone, because that's going to be really important for your mental health throughout life and having support. And if you have a strong community, life seems to be more fulfilling, and you might go farther, and you're going to have somebody there for you when things go wrong. And so there's a saying that kind of says, at the end of your life, if you have 4 to 6 people, maybe more, in your life that are willing to drop everything to carry your casket, you were that important to them, you were that close with them, then you had a good life. And so your relationships are going to be one of the most valuable things out in your whole life, right? And it takes lots of work. And so we need to figure out how we know if we have a good friend so we can foster that relationship. So let's take a look at how we can figure that out. So number 1, for your friendships, if you can tell your friend bad news, that's going to be a good sign, right? And then they won't tell you something worse that happened to them or something like that, right? They will cry with you, and they will help you through that terrible moment. Because a lot of times people will say, you think you have it bad, but I've had it way worse. And it's like, well, that's not a friend, right? You need somebody who's there to support you when something bad happens, because something bad will happen, and you're going to need some help through those times. All right, next we have, you can tell them good news, right? And they'll go out and celebrate with you instead of saying, my friend, he did way better at this other thing, right? Or like something way better happened to me, or way cooler happened to me, right? And so these are also good tips for you as a friend, right? And so if somebody tells you bad news, you don't need to say something worse that happened to them, unless, you're joking or something. But, and then you also want to be able to accept good news and not try and one-up somebody all the time, and go out and celebrate with them, and for a job well done, right? So there you go. Let's go on. You also want a friend who wants the best for you, right? Because we want to put positive influences around us. If your friends, maybe you're trying to change your life. Let's say you're trying to drink less. And if you have really good friends, they will help you with that, right? Rather than saying like, oh, you don't need to do that now, right? Just come out with us. It's like those friends might be dragging you downward. And sometimes you got to make some hard decisions about who you should be spending your time with. So you want friends who encourage you to accomplish stuff, to become your best. Friends that you admire is a good way. So if you have a friend, you're like, wow, they work out very well, and they're always on top of their stuff. It's like, well, that's a person that you should probably try to hang out with. And then you should also try to be a positive influence on them, because they'll be a positive influence on you. And this is how we, help our friends and our community rise up, and improve our lives. So there you go. Wants the best for you. You also want friends who tell you the truth, because let's say you're messing up with your life, and maybe you're not taking care of yourself like you should, right? Well, you probably want some friends around to say, hey, I think that, this is concerning to me, right? You're not doing what you're supposed to, or, and you should be able to tell your friends the truth as well, because this is going to keep you both on track and moving forward in your life. Or you can, maybe you think you have a problem with alcoholism, and your friends are like, oh no, you're fine, right? And it's like, well, it might be good to have a friend out there who says, hey, this might be getting out of hand, right? And so then they might help you through that, right? That's bad news again. So you want to be able to tell your friends the truth, and this is helping you speak your mind. It'll decrease anxiety, all kinds of good things. So, okay. Next, we have the Rule of Reciprocity. So this is kind of how you can maintain these relationships. So humans have a counter in your brain. You are very aware, even if you don't think about it in such like a mathematical way, of when your friends are reciprocating, right? Different behaviors. So let's say you are inviting a friend to go and hang out all the time, and they turn you down 10 times in a row. Well, your brain knows that, and you're going to stop contacting that person, because it takes time and energy to foster relationships. And if you're not willing to meet that person halfway, they're not going to want to hang out with you anymore, right? And so you want to make sure that if somebody who you want to hang out with, and who is a person who will be a good friend, is reaching out to you often, you have to reach back out to them, right? That reciprocity there, because you can't have a one-sided relationship. So with this assignment, what you're going to do is you're going to try to think of some friends who are a good influence on you, right? And who you do admire, who might be good friends. And then you're going to think about who do you need to contact? Who do you need to, practice the rule of reciprocity? And now with this, when you're practicing it, you don't want to think about it one for one, like, oh, they contact me, I'm going to contact them. It's more like, they are going to know in their heads if I'm trying to hang out with them or not. And if I'm not reaching out to them, then they might reach out to me less. And so it's like, okay, well, I'm going to reach out as much as I can because I value this person. And hopefully they reciprocate that, right? And if they don't match it exactly, that's okay, right? But especially if they're a good friend, and it's like, well, keep doing what you got to do. But just know that this is a counter in humans' brains. And if you're not reaching out to people who you would like to hang out with, the likelihood that they're going to continue reaching out to you is going to decrease as you neglect them, right? And so again, you're going to think of somebody and then reach out to them, think of an idea, and invite them to hang out with you. So, okay, that is good for this video. I will see you in the next one.